Yes, welcome everyone. It's Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It's January 29th, 2020. The show, as always, presented to you by the Marijuana Times. MarijuanaTimes.org is where you can find us today. Talking about a new credit card for medical marijuana users in multiple states. Also, look inside Louisiana's medical marijuana program and growing. And a milestone for marijuana sales in Canada. That would be adult use sales in Canada. All of that is coming up. First, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides grow safe and poison-free with Natureside. Don't use harmful chemicals or banned pesticides in the state that you're growing in. Instead, use Natureside, nature-side.com. Proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Thank you, Natureside, for 2 years now of sponsorship. They're awesome. This first story is by Andrew Ward at MarijuanaTimes.org. Columbia Care's credit card could impact how New Yorkers, others, pay for pot. Basically, in June of 2019, multi-state operator Columbia Care rolled out a credit card specifically made for purchases at their participating locations. The CNC card, as it's called, became the first card of its kind, aimed at curtailing the long-running problem in the cannabis space. The large-scale rollout came after a successful pilot program of the card in New York in 2018, where basket and purchase sizes increased by 20%. The cannabis-only CNC card remains in its infancy. However, its success could serve as a stopgap solution for an industry so desperately in need of one. Card works just as any credit card would, in large part. Cardholders are subject to annual percentage rates on purchases between 16 and 25%, and the card comes with a $38 fee for late payments. Obviously, they do this so patients don't have to use cash. Because all of the banking and credit union issues that arise because of federal law and the way that a lot of states and a lot of financial institutions within these states have to handle marijuana business and marijuana transactions. There's obviously no reason that a single operator of marijuana dispensaries would have to go and create their entire own credit card if people could just use MasterCard or Visa. There are already credit cards. To have to make one specifically for the store or this group of stores or whatever. And they do operate in multiple states like Arizona, California, Delaware, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, and New York. Also, Florida was in the process of receiving approval as well for the CNC card. Something that should be unnecessary, but that is necessary, again, because of federal law and because of the government and the way, and because of cannabis prohibition in general. There's no end to the problems that shouldn't exist, but do exist because of cannabis prohibition, and this is one of them. They had to create their own credit card. There are already credit cards. There's a bunch of them. But no, can't use those. Gonna make a whole new credit card just specifically for buying marijuana at these locations. This is a really inefficient way of doing things. But again, necessary. Next story is from theadvocate.com. Look inside Louisiana medical marijuana site, harvesting 570 plants a month. Here's how it works. This is Canna Group, which is LSU's medical marijuana maker. So far, they're the only ones allowed to grow medical marijuana in Louisiana. About 600 plants in a single room. In markets where recreational marijuana and raw buds are sold, customers typically gravitate towards cannabis with a strong scent. So the scent, obviously, in this grow house, in this grow room, or whatnot, is quite strong. You can imagine the pungent odor of 600 marijuana plants. In Louisiana, only medical marijuana is legal, requiring a recommendation of a licensed doctor for specific ailments, with products sold through only 9 state-approved pharmacies. Lafayette-based Canna has the exclusive license the state issued to LSU to grow and manufacture marijuana products, medical marijuana products, for patients across Louisiana. Southern University holds the state's second license and is contracted with a separate company for operations that are expected to start this year. Canna has a little, let me get the graphic off there, a little video that they provide for a look inside their medical marijuana operation inside Louisiana. Again, this is from Canna.
So in here, the plants get all their vertical growth.
See, that's a lot of plants.
After the cloudy stage, a few of them will start to turn amber. And once you see a few trichomes start to turn amber, that's the ideal time. It usually ends up around in between 56, some strains go as long as 80 days. So you really kind of want to watch your trichome production and take it down at the ideal time. Now on large scale cannabis like this, where we're trying to stay on a schedule, we pretty much cut everything down to 56 days. So I just choose strains that finish within that 56-day range. This is honestly more like a 60-day, but again, because we're not going to a flower market, it's not super important that I take it right at its ripeness maturity stage. 4 days isn't going to make that much of a difference as far as oil production goes. So we just go ahead and take him at the 8-week mark.
So as he pointed out in the video, they're not selling flower. They can't sell flower in Louisiana. They're just making it for oil and extracts and stuff. So you have to really be too picky about when they harvest. They don't have to worry about, the quality of the flower or whatever. They're going to make it into the extracts anyway for medical marijuana patients in Louisiana. So there's a look at the rather limited but still existent medical marijuana program in Louisiana. Thank you, Will Canna, for this last story. From Fool.com, the Motley Fool, Canada's marijuana sales top 100 million in a month for the first time. There's been slow growth, obviously we've talked about before, for Canada's marijuana program, their adult use program. Whoops, there we go. More graphic snafus, if you will. Last week, Statistics Canada released its monthly retail trade sales data for November. Since the marijuana industry is tightly regulated but nonetheless legal, licensed cannabis store data is included in its monthly report. Aside from the fact that cannabis sales hit an new all-time high in November, what really stood out is that monthly sales finally eclipsed $100 million in U.S. dollars. Here's a breakdown of the last year. If you're watching the video version of the show, you can see there, starting in October 2018, there's about $40 million in sales. Kind of stagnated through March, and then in April things picked up, and then the stagnation came again, August, September, and October, and finally a little over the 100 million mark in November of 2019. 103 million in sales for Canada that month. As a whole, the Canada marijuana market has generated $916 million in revenue since sales commenced. Makes it very likely that Canada surpassed $1 billion in aggregate pot sales since launch in December. We'll have to wait a month to confirm those statistics. Again, slow growth in Canada. They're expecting things to pick up for a couple reasons. One, derivatives, edibles, things like that are now legal in Canada. And Ontario, the country's largest province, they've changed the way they do things. At the one-year anniversary, they only had 24 retail stores in the entire province. It's like 14.5 million people in the province. But the way they're going to do opening retail shops now, they're going to do about 20 a month for the rest of the year. Hopefully by the end of the year, they're hoping to be around 250 retail shops as opposed to only 24. So that should definitely help sales in Canada, give you more people places to buy marijuana. Again, I know I mentioned this a lot, but one of the keys to legal marijuana and people to selling legal marijuana is having places for people to buy it. I know, seems self-evident, but here we are, talking about it again. Just open more stores. I don't know what else to say. Just people want to buy it. They're ready. They're ready. Everybody's ready. Everybody's got their money ready. They want to buy legal marijuana. They're ready. Just sell it. If you're a government agency or bureaucrat or whatever, help allow them to sell it. We'll continue to cover all these stories, of course, here at Cannabis News 5 days a week. Find us at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab there. There's also a bunch of great articles from a lot of great writers. Search the Marijuana Times on YouTube. Subscribe. Click the notification bell so you know when a new episode is available. Of course, audio podcasts on Apple Podcasts as well. Vimeo, too. If you use Vimeo, you can find us there. Thank you to NatureSide, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thanks to all of you for watching, and listening, and liking, and sharing, and spreading the truth about cannabis with this show. Thanks for watching and listening today, and we'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.